friends. I see you survived our first spooky encounter. Well, I have something different tonight. Creepypastas and internet horror go hand in hand, but also take on many forms. The creativity of horror and dread know no bounds, after all. So, sit back and enjoy the tale of a very interesting fellow. You may have heard of him. SCP-096, or should I say, the Shy Guy. Item number SCP-096. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell, a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096's cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, video, or recordings of SCP-096's likeness are strictly forbidden without the approval from Dr. and O5-. Description: SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of body hair. SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no signs of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside of its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a state of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, SCP-096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will, from this point onward, be referred to as SCP-096-1. Documented speeds have varied from 35 km per hour to km per hour, and it seems to depend on the distance from SCP-096-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP-096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP-096-1's location. Note: this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. See attached document 096-1. Upon arriving at SCP-096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and data expunged SCP-096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Data redacted. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of subject should be considered alpha priority. Dr. has also petitioned for the immediate termination of SCP-096. This order is awaiting approval. Addendum. Termination order has been approved and is to be carried out by Dr. on data redacted. See attached document, Incident 096-1-A. The following is an audio log from Interview 096-1. Interviewer, Dr. Interviewed, retired Captain, former commander of Retrieval Team Zulu 9-A. Retrieval Incident 096-1-A. Begin log. Time, research area.
It always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what jacked up information the field techies can scrape up, and you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag. Didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing.
Could you describe the mission, please?
Yeah, sorry. We had two choppers, one with my team and one on backup with Zulu 9-B and Dr. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction or else he would have taken us out there and then.
Your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was negative Celsius.
Actually, it was more like negative and yes, it was butt naked and it didn't so much as shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal got ready to bag it. Then that's when Dr. called me. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned and then my whole squad saw it.
And that's when SCP-096 entered an agitated, emotional state. Correct?
Yeah.
Interviewed now pauses for a second before continuing.
Sorry. I got the willies for a second.
That's all right.
Yeah, well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and, they paid for it up the ass.
Could you describe it a little more, please?
Yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not like an animal roaring, though. This sounded exactly like a person. It was really fucking creepy. We started firing once it picked up Corporal and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for our help. Fucking A. And anyway, we were blowing chunks out of the target, round after round. It didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started
Data expunged.
him.
That's when you order the use of a,
Papers are heard moving.
AT-4 HEDT launcher.
Yes, it's an anti-tank gun. We started carrying it ever since SCP's got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like they're tissue paper, and it did the same thing to the target.
Or was there any significant damage to SCP-096?
No, it didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing my squad apart, but this time with half its torso gone.
He draws a large half circle across his torso.
But it was taking damage, correct?
If it was, it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all of its organs, all of its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all, though. And it just kept tearing my squad apart.
so no actual structural damage. How many rounds did you say were fired at SCP-096?
At least 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds. Do you realize that's 650 caliber rounds pumped into the thing? Might as well have been at spitting at it.
This is when Zulu 9-B arrived.
Yeah, and by that time my squad was already gone. Zulu 9-B managed to get the bag over its head and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. The jackass.
Captain, we've obtained an artist's rendering of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it? I assure you it's quite safe.
You know what, Doc, after hearing that thing's screams and screams of my men, I don't think I want to ever put a face to what I heard. No. Just no.
All right. I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain.
Chairs are heard moving, and footsteps leave the room. Retired Captain Blank is confirmed to have left interview room 22.
Let this be on the record that I am formally requesting SCP-096 to be terminated as soon as possible.
Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to shout out the lovely Dragonborn ranked channel members that you see on the screen now. If you like what I do, hit that sub button and ring the bell, and support the channel by becoming a channel member today. See ya!